side contest. This is the last of our undercard here tonight with the prelims. This also at 73 kilograms over 3 2-minute rounds. The first of your fighters for the blue corner, representing Bloodline Gym, WACHOWSKI. Gym from the red corner, Dorimund, DIDDI.
So the last of our undercard fights here tonight, another preliminary bout, amateur Muay Thai rules. A couple of corrections there. In the blue corner, Daniel WACHOWSKI fighting out of Fight Zone London. And to get it right, of course, on the red side, Dorimund DIDDI from Parent Gym. So red corner for DIDDI, blue corner for WACHOWSKI. Two men making their amateur debut tonight. 3 2-minute rounds, if necessary. Glad to have the facts straight. Malcolm, should be another great one.
Chris, we've had incredible matchups tonight, and matchmaking is so important in this game, and it's been superb tonight. Very close, technical fights. And again, where else would you like to make your debut? You've got a huge crowd. They're knowledgeable, they're sporting, top referee in the center. They're great matchmaking. It's really been an incredible night of action so far.
So Pete Richardson in charge. You got the stats right there. 2-minute rounds, 3 if we need them. And of course, both men in the corner, neither taking their eye off each other, Malcolm. That often tells you a lot, an early indicator perhaps.
Well, both men looking very calm for their debuts, but as we said, two very tough gyms. They know their stuff, the Fight Zone and the Parent Gym. So it should be two very good men making their debuts here. Orthodox stance for WACHOWSKI, DIDDI from the southpaw stance. On a strong low kick from Daniel straight away, Chris.
Quick check there from Pete Richardson. That's a real good tactic there from the open stance. Southpaw versus orthodox, can often lead to that battle for either the rear hand or the rear kick to the inside lead leg. And right now we're seeing that. Good tactics from the Parent Gym.
Well, the thing is for Daniel here, the rear leg. Oh, I just say that, and Dorimund DIDDI. Beautiful combination there to take his man off balance. I was just about to say, picking up on what you said, Chris, when you come in with the rear leg, you're in danger of that rear hand counter. You trade one for the other.
And I love seeing both fighters step in towards each other because neither is afraid to engage the cross. They're using that rear hand very, very well. It'll have to come straight down the pipe. But the problem is when you line up your shoulder and extend and really turn the punch forward, you're open to being countered as well. So both guys are kind of playing Russian roulette, so to speak, throwing at the same time.
That's a great way of putting it, Chris. That's exactly what it is when you get orthodox versus southpaw, as you rightly say, with that open stance. And that's what makes it so exciting. For me at the moment, though, Dorimund DIDDI is doing just the right thing by just stepping back and waiting for Daniel WACHOWSKI to commit, and then timing his counters. And there's a beautiful knee there from DIDDI.
Dorimund able to drop him there. I don't think that was a knockdown. Quick check there from Pete Richardson. I think it was a good slip, good call. I have to say, Pete Richardson has made some excellent calls here tonight. I'm really impressed with not only the way that he officiates a fight, but how unintrusive he is. I mean, he's always there. He's got eyes where they need to be. He's making the calls when they need to be said.
Top referee, Chris. It's as simple as that. I've worked with him many times, and he is always on the ball.
So some upper body feinting and faking there from DIDDI. I love the way that he enters as well. I think he's the more quick guy. Often we saw both guys throwing simultaneously. Not much time to go here. Oh, low blow. Talk about being quick on the trigger. He was a little bit too quick there.
Chris, we saw that perfectly from our angle, and as you said about the explosive speed and the power, but sadly where it landed is the problem.
Well, an offsides play without a doubt. DIDDI knew it as well. I was really impressed with kind of how quick he was. Even early in the exchanges where they were close, I think towards the end of this round here, he was starting to beat WACHOWSKI in those exchanges, being first and then exiting. It's definitely been a scrappy affair, and when you got wild exchanges like that, Malcolm, the worst can happen.
Well, as you said, and it happened at speed with explosive power, but Daniel has made no fuss, recovered quickly, and right at the bell, which would be just perfect timing for him. And as you mentioned, Chris, scrappy at times, but nothing less than exciting.
So the corner advice here to WACHOWSKI looks to have been recovered very well, actually, slowing down the breathing. I'm curious what the advice would be, Malcolm. I'm going to pick your brain here.
Well, if you look at this, I would say feint more, because Dorimund DIDDI is working well off the initiation from Daniel WACHOWSKI.
And oftentimes when we talk about striking, there's kind of three ways to look at it. Either you go first, you try to go at the same time as your opponent, or you try to wait and you go last. For me, DIDDI was doing the first two very well at the same time and before. I think being first won in that round 10-9. Malk, you agree?
I agree, Chris, and I think for Daniel, if I was in his corner, I'd say, look, don't always go straight in. He looks a powerhouse, he looks to go straight in, but occasionally feint, stop, check, try and make Dorimund DIDDI show his hand rather than yourself, because at the moment, it's like poker players, isn't it? Daniel's happy to show his hand, and that's just been a slight problem for him with a guy that is so quick on the counter and so explosive with it as well.
And a quick check there in the corner, a little bit too much moisture on the canvas. All good now. Oh, that was a huge right hand. DIDDI caught him flush there, Malcolm. Good short right. The first strike of the round. On the back foot is WACHOWSKI.
Well, we said he's explosive and he's got speed, and put the two together and it's a dangerous combination. Now again, Daniel WACHOWSKI bites on the gum shield and looks to come back. But it's, as we're saying, Dorimund, it's the way he breaks rhythm, he changes things up and down. Whereas Daniel, Dorimund always knows where he's going to be, Chris. He knows where he's coming in. He's coming in at him, and he knows he's going to initiate. This time, what he did right at the beginning of the round, now the roles are reversed here as Dorimund takes that to the groin. But this time, at the beginning of round two, what he did was explode forward with that big right hand, as you said. So this time it's Dorimund DIDDI getting time to recover.
So the action resumes here. And it'll be very interesting to see kind of where DIDDI caught momentum. It seemed to have been interrupted there. Can he keep it going?
Well, again, you see the feinting look. He brings the shot low and then high and then the knee in. That momentum hasn't been lost, Chris, and then takes both legs, and the crowd respond. And for me, it's the timing that is key in this. We look at elements that change bouts, and for me, it's the timing.
Oh, another huge knee, and that was absolutely a great connection, but I think that might have been a low shot. It looked like that was a low shot. I've got to be honest. I think that was a low shot. Oh no, Pete Richardson has called it.
He looked to the judge beside you, Chris, and looked low and said, did that go low? And the judge said, no, it was clean. The moment Pete got that qualification, he called it there. So if we take that at face value, our referee looks to our judge says, from my angle, I saw it clean, it's above the waist. That is a vicious stoppage.
It could have been to the inside leg. It was tough to tell. Obviously, we're sitting on the worst vantage point here at the rear of the ring. Let's see if we can get the replay. We're going to slow it down. Yeah, it's not going to be able to show cleanly where that landed. Maybe it will. Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah. That's good. That looked pretty legal, actually. It looked like it went right across the top of the stomach. That was a great call. I could not tell. I mean, he had his back to us, It looked like it came in from the trajectory. It was going to land low, but Malcolm, that was a clean shot.
It was a clean shot. As we saw there, they slowed it down, they brought it in, and the judge was spot on. He looked at Pete Richardson again. Our ref qualified it, made sure it was right, and it was a brilliant call from both our judge and referee. Spot on to the midsection there, and a big stoppage in favor of Dorimund DIDDI.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute back and forth war. Give it up for Dorimund DIDDI and then WACHOWSKI. Ladies and gentlemen, after 2 rounds of action, referee in charge Pete Richardson has called a stop to this contest, declaring your winner via TKO from the red corner, Dorimund. Please once more give up the WACHOWSKI. Also, need to say, we saw it on the replay, all the judges agreed it was a legal shot. It was definitely the correct call. Thank you very much.